Good morning!
Hi everyone!
Happy MInxy Monday. I am Jen and this is Crystal.
Hello!
And we are here ready to rock and roll in the summer sunshine. It's summer and it's not so shiny this morning, but it's hot in here. Alrighty, well I'm going to go ahead and introduce MInxy Mondays. MInxy Mondays is our way of reaching out to you, making sure that you have all the training and support you need on a weekly basis. So we invite you to use the chat feature you know, let us know if you're having any issues with your Minx application, especially you new Minxers who really just need to see the 7 steps in action. We are going to do that today. We're also going to talk a little layering. Layering is an advanced technique, so for those of you who are new, please keep it in the back of your mind, and when you're ready for it, you'll know. But the primary responsibility of MInxy Mondays is to make sure that you can apply Minx, have it last as long as possible on your clientele, and we're going to teach you how. This is, again, Crystal Rice. She's our educator here at, in San Diego, and I'm going to let her tell a little bit about her history with Minx.
Hey guys, I've been with Minx for about 4 years, a little bit longer than Jen. Just really love it and been dedicated to the company and the application, and I think it's a lot of fun, and it's changed a lot of the nail industry, I believe. And I thank Dawn and Janice all the time about how much they've helped us as nail techs have a better, you know, more services, a better look on nails, and I feel like they've helped the nail community keep in contact with each other around the world. And this is a great example of meeting people and talking to people in different areas of the country, and I love it. And so yeah, so we are here to help all of you work on your 7 steps. So Jen, you ready to do this?
Yep, absolutely. So we want to make sure that everyone knows we do have a chat feature. We are going to be watching the chats. I'm going to switch to the Manny cam here in just a moment, but I'm also going to get our chat session going. So give us a couple of seconds to get switched over to Manicure Mania.
All right.
Woohoo!
Woo! All right. So, does anyone have any suggestions on what layering we should do today?
It is really hot in here.
Yep, well, beach day is a perfect day to be hot.
Yeah, if we start sweating,
we're not faking it.
We're not faking it.
All right.
Okay.
Jen, do you feel a little gold today or a little silver?
I will take what you will give me.
Alrighty then.
Logged in. Yay! Okay, let's go to our channel. Let's go to Crystal's getting everything ready over there underneath her camera. I don't know if you guys can see that yet.
I'm just gonna turn it. Let's see if it's showing.
Yep. The camera is showing. Oh, look, there's our base coat.
So we have the base coats under the heat. That's the first thing you want to do.
Are we going to use those? We're not going to use those for the 7 steps, though.
Correct.
What color are you going to put on me?
Well, let's see, because all I have right now is layering. Let's see what our first bad boy is. Ooh, ready?
Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about our shirts.
Ready? We can talk about our shirts.
I know Courtney says, oh my god, what are you wearing? LOL.
Well, Courtney, let us go over the 7 steps, and we will definitely go over our cute little beach
look
wear
today. We decided to go beachy because it's been such a beautiful week. We've had excellent weather. Oh my gosh.
And I am switching the Minx out, and we're doing bridal nail on Jen today.
Why are we doing bridal nail?
It's really
I thought we were going with summer colors.
Oh, you want me to do summer?
Yeah, I want summer colors.
Oh, you told me to pick.
I'm not getting married. My
But you're
anniversary
in
is
love.
coming, and I love my husband very much, but I don't want to wear this.
All right, let's go with.
And you know I try to keep them on as long as I can.
All right, so I put down the cheetah. The what's it called? It's the rainbow leopard. Sorry, not cheetah.
Oh, I can't even see the colors. It's very odd. It's very odd, our camera.
Owie.
There's the color. There's a little color.
I like the greeny, light green one. That's a pretty one.
Do. Okay. So,
Woohoo.
fantastic,
All right, so now we are going to look at Jen's nails here, our client, and just make sure she's a good candidate. You want to give her a consultation, find out what kind of structure nail she has, what shape she likes, how, you know, observe what she has. You know, she has her nails are a little weak, and they're long. She they're not very curved at all, so that's a pretty good, easy, somewhat application compared to, like I say, a high C curve nail. Also want to find out what Jen does on an everyday basis. Jen, what do you do on an everyday basis?
On an everyday basis, I work a full-time job and I type a lot. And then thereafter, I 4 times a week have soccer. I play goalie, so I wear gloves. Most of the time they're damp gloves, so
Do you sweat so much?
No, I actually have to wet my gloves for sticky.
Oh,
To
interesting.
make them sticky.
That trips me out. Ooh.
It's a tacky stuff.
That's a crazy sport. I give you props for playing that game.
Well, actually, let me tell you a little story about my weekend. I actually had a pretty great game yesterday. I had a few misses, but I made a lot of really great saves. And during one of my saves on the field yesterday, I was running to the ball. I got the ball, and then I got hit. The forward from the other team was running full steam ahead at the same ball I was running full steam ahead at, and she hit me full on. I was kind of bent over grabbing the ball, and she hit me full on in the head, spun me around 360 degrees, and knocked me out.
Dang!
Actually got a knockout in soccer. I thought for a second, is this the NFL? Wow. But I'm okay. I didn't have any dizziness or anything after the fact, so I just took it slow and gave up to my my backup goalie. Took care of the rest of the game for me. Thank God we were in the second half, about halfway through, so we only had about a quarter of the game to go. So I'm glad that I actually got possession of that ball. I stopped the play, and we did not have a goal go in on my knockout.
Dang.
Well, so it was a fun day.
I'm glad you're okay.
I'm glad I'm okay, actually.
So we found out Jen's a soccer player.
Yeah,
She's
Jen's a
full-time.
soccer player and full-time mama of 2. I have 2 puppies. So, I have a pretty active lifestyle.
And she works here at Minx.
I work full-time at Minx. So, yeah, I do it all. And if anybody can ruin a set of Minx, man, I sure can.
You can wear them down.
I can wear them down for sure.
So we definitely want to figure out, you know, does Jen have oily nails? You know, she's pretty rough with her hands. You definitely want to talk about managing your expectations with your clients, what she could do to, you know, make them last longer if she'd like, or if, say, she breaks a nail, what would she do if they're not ruined, things like that. And then you're also doing a dry manicure currently, and if you noticed while Jen was talking, we pushed back the cuticle, shaped the nail, made sure all that surface of the nail plate was nice and smooth and we buffed it. And say for instance Jen had some ridges or anything in her nail plate, we would, you know, maybe recommend an add-on service prior to your Minx application to make the Minx look as flawless as possible. And that is our goal with Minx, just making sure that it looks nice and smooth and flawless, and what can we do to get the Minx to that point.
So let's talk about the prep real quick. Rubbing alcohol is what we use, isopropyl alcohol. You want to use it at a 90 or higher percentage. Basically it's rubbing alcohol and water. So what you want to do is go with the highest possible. If you can get 99%, that's what we recommend. But we know Minx lasts longer if you're using a 90% or higher. And sometimes it's hard to get your hands on, but there are a few places you can get it. Crystal knows of a few websites. The Industry Source is one of them. And then from there, really just look around for anything that's 99%, 90%, 95%.
Yeah. So now we've used the alcohol, we've sprayed, and we used lint-free wipes to remove the dirt and oil. You definitely want to use at least two, one to break down those dirt and oil, and the other one to actually remove it. Now as we finish up that manicure, if you look to the left here, we've got our Minx warming up under the heat. And I was going to ask Jen, is there a specific color you'd like to put on your nail?
No, you can just go for it. I like the green though. I do like this green one. If it'll fit, I love it. Yeah.
Dark green? Okay, because I was going to go for that one.
Either way, I'm happy either way. Whatever works the best for you.
Jen pointed out she liked the darker one, so we'll go with the dark one. So I always ask my clients, you know, what they like, just because, you know, they're paying for this service. I always want to try to give them what they want. Or I try to find out the idea of how they want their Minx to lay, and depending on the nail tech, you could charge more for that. Or now I've taken the Minx off the sheet and placed it under the heat.
You can see our coffee and our cell phones, but you can also see the Minx getting hot and floppy.
Very, very soft and pliable is your goal. You need a lot of heat and a lot of pressure to get Minx to fully attach to the nail plate. So you really want it to get nice and warm. Alright, so now I'm going to slide the cam right back to where Jen's hand is, and I'm going to move mine. And when you get about 20 seconds, so you do want to focus on applying the Minx. And you want to go from center to sidewall. And if you can't do it in about 20 seconds, it's okay. Just stop what you're doing when it starts to stiffen up and reheat. Place it back under the heat, warm it up, and you'll see it get really soft. It's not about time, it's more about how it looks. And then I'm going to pull it out of the heat. It's very important to place the Minx under the heat, apply pressure to the Minx, pull it out of the heat with pressure, and let it cool with pressure. You need the molecular structure to attach to the nail, and it needs the pressure and the heat for it to fully attach. And the more heat you use and the more pressure, the more it shrink wraps to the nail.
Okay, so Blue Amore says, how do you keep the edges from lifting or rolling back? That seems to be my problem. Well, lifting or rolling back tends to be a result of
stretching.
Stretching. So if you think about Minx as a structure similar to a rubber band, if you were to stretch that rubber band and then cut that rubber band, it would snap back, right? So it's not quite as violent with Minx, but it is the same concept. It tries to go back. It tries to pull back. And what it does is in the process, it lifts up off the nail because you didn't have it truly attached, you know, under tension. You know, you don't, anytime you have tension on the product, you want to make sure that it's not changing the structure. If you stretch Minx, you're breaking the structure.
You have to leave the Minx in the original state that it came in. If you start to pull on it and it stretches, exactly what Jen says, it pulls apart from the nail.
So the other thing is that you can see that Crystal has just very gently folded the Minx out of her way. It is not there as for any other function, just to clear it from her path to make sure that she can see the free edge through the end of the attachment, and that she has a clear line to begin filing.
I notice a lot of people will really tightly push it around under the nail, really fold it over. You really don't want to do that, because depending on if it's still warm, it could stretch the edging just a tad, and that's all you need for it to pull up. So you really want to make sure you're lightly folding it over just so that it's out of the way until you're ready to remove that excess.
If you are not stretching Blue Amore, then we need to talk about what else could be going on, either prep or some other part of your application. But if you were to ask me off the cuff, this is the answer. We honestly would believe that you were stretching the Minx, because we've been down this road, and so we hope that that was a helpful answer.
So if we look really close, I'm going to grab the cam and show you guys real close. It's attached pretty good to the nail plate, but we could keep pressing down and it's just going to keep, just right up to the nail.
It does seem to suck on and shrink wrap and attach. It's so fully that it's like it's shrunk around the nail.
And you definitely need a lot of heat and a lot of pressure to do that. And I can't emphasize that enough. So if you're having a lot of issues, really pay attention to your heat and pressure. And you're really, if you notice, I'm giving Jen a really nice pinch here. And again, as you start to do this, you'll start to realize how much pressure you need. It would be your broken finger, huh?
I'm about to pass out.
I'm sorry, Jen, I love you.
So Crystal meaning really, really well to show you a pinch.
Yes, but I wasn't talking to Jen like we should be.
So this is the finger I broke about 8 weeks ago, and it's just not quite, beyond the soreness phase. So when she squeezed me, I saw a little bit of stars. So we apologize for the giggles.
So you want to definitely pinch and talk to your client. Make sure you're not hurting them.
But you really want to squeeze put a good amount of pressure on there.
Yeah.
Pressure is no joke. Heat is no joke. If your Minx are not soft and floppy when you apply them, I wouldn't see them lasting more than a few days.
Yeah.
Honestly. And if you are not following the 7 steps, you are not going back under the heat, you are not, following those 7 steps that came on your application cue card, that were in your kit, you're not doing yourself any favors by not following the 7 steps. If you try to make shortcuts, you're going to have short-lived nails.
So again, you never want to stretch the Minx, and you never want to rub the Minx, meaning you never want to do anything like that. It's not doing anything to the Minx. You really have to give it like a good pinch or pressure to the nail plate.
Blue Amore also asks, can Minx go on acrylics? Minx can be applied to any enhancement or nail surface. So as long as you prep it correctly, and as long as you're not using any other products like Bond-Aid or Scrub Fresh, and not that those aren't great products, but they just don't work with Minx application. As long as you're doing the 7 steps and you're, learning the process and you're following the process, then you can put Minx on any enhancement.
All right, so now we're going to file off the excess, and in the consultation, we've determined what type of nail Jen has, so that would determine how we remove the excess. You'll never remove the excess the same on every client that you have. So that's why a consultation is very crucial in a Minx application. You really want to know how you need to remove the excess and what type of service you're really giving them, and that will determine how much time you need to book out. As the nail tech, you'll learn that as you keep experiencing with Minx that, you know, you will spend a little bit more time on different types of nails that clients have, because they can be harder for you as a nail tech and some are easier. And so that it helps you as the nail tech, you know, book out the correct amount of time to give your client the best experience so that they're happy with their nail service.
Especially in the beginning. I mean, I think you get a rhythm and you start to become familiar with the product. So we do recommend that you use at least 5 sheets for practice from your kit. That's equivalent to 10 sets of Minx. If you have not done so, please don't apply to a client yet, because what we're trying to do is make sure that every client that comes through your door and gets Minx manicure walks out with a smile and a week later is happy. And we need to make sure that you're trained properly, and that's what MInxy Mondays is about. So please bring your questions to the table.
All right, so now we're going to remove the excess, and Jen can't too much use the crystal file because her nails bend a little bit. So I use the curve file on Jen a lot. So, and with the curve file, if you notice, it has a slight slant to it, and it works really good. You don't have to have a pressure, too much pressure on it, or a certain skill level. You just have to have a certain length. So when you fold the Minx over, you really want to just fold over the area that you're cutting, and as you start to cut, you'll reposition the Minx flat up against the nail where it needs to be cut, okay? So I'm really emphasizing the corner or the edge right here, and because the corners are the ones that are always missed, a lot of people think that it's fully attached to the nail, and I'm having an issue right here.
Yeah, you're getting more finger than you are Minx.
It's not cutting. Let's see. So we're going to reposition it.
I can feel it bending.
Nope, it's bending, yep. So I'm going to have to go in with scissors, and I will go in from the right to the left because I'm right-handed. And when you do scissor cutting up against the nail, you will have to go back and do the down method and remove the excess, because you'll always have little pieces extra there. And you will break the seal when you cut or file, so you do always have to reheat it up.
So one thing that we will do is we will have Crystal show you the angles of the files and how to use them. The filing technique is very important, and we call it filing. It's actually cutting. So we know it's different than any filing that you've done before. So it's important to learn the correct technique and how to hold your file. But if you notice, even with, you know, Crystal just doing the cleanup, she's at a 45-degree angle under the free edge, not under the free edge, but at the free edge, meaning she's not over the top of the nail, she's not directly at 90 degrees, but she was at about a 45-degree angle. And so what that does is gives you a nice clean cut without, you know, removing any of the Minx from the surface of the nail.
And then you always want to really check your work, because if you do feel any little pieces, you want to trim those up. You don't want to have anything
too high.
You don't want to have anything overlapping, because that's, especially with hands, that's what's going to make it pull up. There's this little spot right here I can't get. Okay, we're going to put some more heat. And we're going to apply pressure under the heat. And what we're doing is reinforcing the seal, the free edge. Make sure you really enforce the corners and the free edge. And if you heated it up enough, a lot of the sidewalls and cuticle would have been really sealed when you applied it. And if you noticed, before I even removed the excess, I went back under the heat a couple times. All that's doing is making it shrink wrap more and more each time, which gives you a more perforated line of where you need to cut or file. Alright, and so now we've let it cool for about 20 seconds with pressure, and we're going to have Jen check it out, make sure that she's happy with it. She feel anything that might be overlapping. You want to always let your clients check the work, make sure that they're happy with it. They don't feel anything that they're unhappy with. If they are, give your professional opinion about certain things, educate them about how your skill level is, and give them the option if they want to fix something or keep it. Give you an example, I get a lot of clients that don't like the crinkling. Sometimes I get crinkling on my minks. They don't always look so beautiful like Jen's nails. So sometimes people really don't want those crinkles, and you're not using enough heat, and sometimes I don't. It buckles up, and I tell people it depends on, like, one time example, I had a lot of window breeze coming through the house, and it didn't lay very well. And so I did it again for her because I didn't realize that the cooling of, say wind or an AC unit will definitely make your minks cool down a lot faster, and you don't get a nice smooth application. And so, sometimes, that happens, and, you just got to fix it. You don't want the client to be upset with a service they paid, say $80 for.
So Nail Concierge says, is there such a thing as overheating minks? I think you can burn minks.
You can definitely burn them, but there's no such thing as overheating.
You should. We're gonna give you 2 examples. You can reheat and heat minks as many times as you need to in your application. If that means 6-8 times, that's absolutely fine. If that's what you need to do in order to get a good application of minks, you may do that. What you don't want to do is cook your minks under the full heat 2 inches away, so they're smoking, burning, and the backer's actually crinkling.
And Jen, can we show them?
Okay. All right. We can show you what not to do.
Yeah, we want to show you guys what not to do, and that way you guys can see it.
But I honestly think we need to do one more finger of the 7 steps. I know we have a lot of newbies on today that have never seen the 7 steps before, and so that one run through I just don't think is enough. We need to probably do another one. One more finger. So Crystal's getting all of the stuff ready to burn a minks. We're gonna burn a minks.
We're gonna burn away. I wanted to burn one that was already burnt, but I guess that would be cheating, huh?
Yeah, let's not burnt an already burnt one.
All right, so I'm gonna turn the cam towards the heat, and if you notice, I have a minks under the heat, and the plastic's right here. The minks minks heat is actually half of the stick currently. We could go a little bit lower, and if you just pay attention to the plastic, it gets too warm too fast, and you'll start to see the plastic change.
And you guys, it's really, really bright, but you're gonna see it. So while you're seeing that happen, which I can't believe we're doing, which is, it's kind of fun though.
It's fun because it's real life to do.
It's real life. It happens. We've seen it done.
Yep, we've all done it.
And you know what? Oh, the most common time it's ever happened for me, or that I've ever seen it, is that when we were doing demos at the trade shows, because the heat has to stay hot and you're constantly moving minks in and out,
Yeah.
And one will just be hiding under there, baking away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we throw them away. Usually we throw them away.
This is something that, I'll give you an example I've experienced with, because I didn't really know at the time when I first started doing minks, and when you really want to get it heated up fast, you think, oh, let's just get a little bit closer to the plastic, but when you're not paying attention, that plastic can really start to...
Well, and flash
smoke.
heating isn't what we want anyway. We want that time.
You need the time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, infrared is something special because, you know, it's an intense, it's a long, you know, kind of deep heating. So if you use infrared and you try to flash heat something, well, it's probably not penetrating the product, and if anything, it's going to burn. So in this instance,
I mean, it's just like anything else you're
taking longer
doing.
than usual, and
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
This is weird, yeah.
Well, we'll just
Is it full on? Yeah.
Yeah, it's full
It doesn't
on.
seem like the heat is on its highest.
We did use this heat for a lot of traveling this month, so.
All right.
Oh, there,
well,
it's starting to buckle.
Okay, so there it goes. If you guys can see the plastic, it's kind of hard right now, but it's going to keep getting worse, and then it'll be more. You'll be able to see it a lot better.
It'll get gnarly.
Just keep paying attention while that's happening. I'm just
you know what? We'll come back to it.
Oh.
We'll come back to it so you can do the prep on me. So
Yeah, I'm
that they
just
can
doing
see.
the dry manicure. That's all I'm doing. Which is no water. You don't want to use any water. Water expands the nail plate and minks don't attach to the nail, especially when the nail goes back to its original.
Okay, so I guess there was a question. Can you lay one Minx design over another? Okay, so here's the thing. We're going to talk about layering today. And what's appropriate for layering at a beginner's level, and then what's appropriate for layering, you know, once you've really mastered the skill of minxing. And by mastered, I mean kind of, you know, you've been minxing for at least 6 months, you know, you've done at least 200 clients, you know, you have mastered the art of minxing.
So I've taken the cuticle that's stuck onto Jen's nail, and I've taken that off, and I use the crystal file and get all that off there, and we're going to shape the nail and buff the nail, and then we'll be ready to go, and that's when we would start to alcohol. Alright, so what's going on? Still not doing it?
You know
What's this about? Is this like gonna prove us wrong or what?
Well, I mean, it's definitely soft. I mean, look at it. But
how funny that it's not smoking.
It's
on
not
us.
smoking on us. Like, okay, so here's the thing. If you get your minx underneath the heat, and I mean, we've got
Jen's
these
got this
so
thing
close, so close. If you get them under the heat, and suddenly there's smoke, the backer's crinkled. It looks.
The plastic will get really soft and crinkled up.
Like you fried it. Oh, there it goes.
There it's slowly going.
I
there
see
it goes.
smoke.
Oh, let me get the camera. Let me get the camera.
I see
guys,
smoke.
Guys. See the smoke? See the smoke? Wait.
No, they can't see anything. Where are you?
Right.
Oh,
right
there. Okay.
Can you guys see smoke?
Can you see smoke? Do you see the smoke? See the smoke?
There
you
it
see
is.
the smoke?
There's the smoke.
Okay, so that's bad.
We don't want to do that. And if you notice, she's going to pull the minx out.
If you look at the shape of this, I don't know how to better.
They can see it, yeah. It's a little crinkled there.
This
if
is
we
actually
left it under there, it would have definitely crinkled.
This is actually not as bad as I've seen.
Yeah.
And this was really, really close. So yes, you can cook your minx to the point of no return. No return. They just go in the garbage.
Yes.
Do not try to use them. First of all, gross. Second of all, gross. Third of all, damaged.
When the plastic gets really warped like that, you can't get the minx off there anyway.
I mean, look at how now it'll get rigid and like it's horrible.
It's kind of like setting the memory on plastic.
Yeah, you've cooked that chicken to its death. So anyway, yeah.
It's going to be about 8 inches the length of your stick. And here, I'll show you.
Back it up.
Back it up.
Back it up. Back it up. Okay, so can you guys see? You want the lowest part of your minx heat at about 8 inches. You can have it tilted. It doesn't need to be straight down. You can control the temperature, but you guys need to, you know, learn to use your minx. It's called experience. You need to get that experience. You need to get your Minx too hot. You need to get your Minx, have your Minx too cold. You need to try everything. Don't be afraid to play with Minx. That's why you have 15 sets of Minx in your training kit. Don't be afraid of it. You got a huge discount on your kit, so you know, take advantage of the time when you didn't spend as much on that set of Minx, and you get the opportunity to play with it. Do your toes, do your friend's toes, do your nose. No, just kidding, don't do your nose. But really, try to get Minx on as many different clients and different nail types as possible during this training time, so that when you hit the ground, you hit the ground running. When you're ready to go, when you really feel like you're going to offer to clients, you feel some sense of confidence. You've experienced a lot of things by then. And that's what's important, that your client feels confidence from you. They shouldn't be afraid to let you, you know, try Minx on them. And you need to explain to them that, you know, it's a heat applied product. There aren't any chemicals in the application other than the nail prep, which is rubbing alcohol, which is in 90% of cosmetics, you know, out there. So if that's an issue,
you don't want to use anything else but alcohol. Trust us.
And if you're removing nail polish before the application of Minx, you can do so with acetone. But then you're going to use the rubbing alcohol, and I would actually add an extra swipe of rubbing alcohol to remove any acetone that may have absorbed into the nail or down into the sidewalls and cuticle. So what you're trying to do is just create a really clean surface for Minx. There's nothing between the Minx and the nail.
So I just sprayed alcohol on the nail plate, and I'm using a lint-free wipe to break down the oil and dirt, and we're going to use another one to really make sure we got it all off the nail plate. Really pay attention to the sidewalls and the cuticle area. Now we are ready to apply our Minx.
You want to do an oversized one so they can see some trimming action?
Sure. Would you like green, blue, or pink?
I like that bluey green one. You want to use that Gigantor one?
Sure.
Are you good with that?
Are you happy with the blue side or the green side?
I like the blue.
Okay.
I like the blue.
Alright, so we're going to look at Jen's nail and see that she has a little bit of a curved cuticle area. So I'm going to use more of the rounded side of the Minx.
And if you guys aren't aware, if you're that new, there is a rounded side, which Crystal is pointing out, and a squarer side, a more square side. That's, you know, it's ideal for people with thumbs like mine and toes.
Yeah. So we are going to pull the Minx off the sheet, place the backing or the adhesive side back under the heat till it gets really soft and pliable, and you can see it getting really, really soft.
And if you're wondering how close is Crystal to the Minx heat, she's about halfway between the table and the Minx heat itself. So she's about 4 inches from the Minx heat. You can get closer, whatever you're comfortable with, but don't put your clients any closer than that.
Yeah, if you notice, I'm putting the Minx under the heat, but my client's out of the heat. So you do work out of the heat when you're applying the Minx, and that way you prevent burning.
You will also allow the Minx to conform and cool so that the molecular structure actually changes shape. So part of the application is making sure you're doing what we call a heating cycle. And so you're going to heat and cool under pressure. You're going to heat and then you're going to cool under pressure. Is that correct, Crystal? Am I saying that right?
You're going to heat it up and you're going to apply pressure while you're heating it up, as well as pulling it out to cool. So you got to keep in mind that you need the pressure while it's under heat, and you need the pressure while it's cooling down for those 20 seconds. So if you notice, I put it under the heat with pressure, I pull it out of the heat with pressure, and we're going to wait about 20 seconds to release the pressure. And depending on your pressure and how much heat you've used, all it's doing is it keeps shrink wrapping more and more to the nail plate.
And if you look, I mean, let's stay still for just a second and let them look. You can actually see the outline of my nail in the Minx surface, and that is what a look you want to achieve before moving on to any other you know, step in the process. If your Minx don't look like they're part of that nail, or you can see the free edge through the, you know, surface of the Minx, then you need to go back and you need to heat some more.
You need it to be shrink wrapped pretty good to the nail before you remove the excess, because you need the Minx to be attached to the nail when filing the excess so that you don't get frayed edges.
Ow!
Sorry, lost the camera, guys. So that it's nice and sealed around the edges, and you know, you get a nice seal. If you don't have it really attached, it kind of shifts a little bit. So you want to prevent that by using a lot of heat and a lot of pressure. All right, so how about we just do it one more time, Jen?
Okay, let's go back under heat, because we are using an oversized Minx. You know, it's easier to apply a Minx that's closer to the size of the nail, but at the same time, you know, all you have to do is compensate with a little extra heat and pressure.
Thank you, Jen. Just trying to keep on with that pressure.
I know she's trying to keep pressure and move the camera, and I'm just sitting here chatting away. No, I got it that time. Okay, so Crystal actually turned off her light during this, or her Minx heat. I shouldn't say light, because we don't use it as a light.
We use it for heat.
And we use it for heat. It's its purpose. So she's actually turned off her Minx heat and gotten it out of her way so that she can go ahead with the rest of the application process. And
you don't want the Minx to really get warm again while you're removing that excess. You need the Minx to be as cool as possible when cutting or trimming or filing.
And she's having to cut against the free edge with my nails because they are very, as good as they look, and this one actually looked pretty good, it's not a strong nail.
Yeah.
They're very weak. We are like 9 weeks out from an acrylic application and removal that devastated my nails. So Crystal's been dealing with that, and you guys have had to bear with us as we use other techniques for removing the excess because of it. Because if you were to use the crystal file and the appropriate pressure for using the crystal file, you would most likely damage the Minx and damage the nail in the process, because the crystal file does require a significant amount of pressure in order to cut. I know, did you see it's chipped?
This is a handicap orange lipstick.
It's chipped.
All right, so if you look close, once I trim up the sidewall, what I do is I lay the Minx back in there and just make sure that it's the right fit. It's not buckling in any way. If it's buckling, it just means it's still a little too long. You need to go back and trim it. You also have to realize the type of wall structure that Jen has, and making sure that it doesn't exceed later when the nail grows out, because it will buckle as well. So that's something more advanced depending on your skill level. You'll notice as you get better. And then we're going to go up the other side. And if you did a nice seal, you'll have a perforated line on where you'll be cutting. And again, I just kind of place it down, make sure it's in the right spot. Looks good. Check the sidewalls. This is a little too long.
So as you can see, Crystal is very skilled with her tweezers, and she also uses scissors. She can use clippers. So she has mastered the skill of trimming Minx. And that's something that you want to do. You don't want to avoid any part of this Minx application. If you're having a hard time, you need to practice. you know, a lot of people will come back and say, I can't get them to last. And I'm saying, okay, well, you know, are they fitting on the sidewells? Are they, you know, what is going on? You know, are you getting lifting on the sides, on the free edge? Where are you getting lifting? Oh, I'm getting lifting on the sides. Well, that tells me that your Minx probably wasn't sealed to the nail correctly in the first place.
It was a little overlapping.
And it was overlapping, and you got some lotion, you got some oils, you got shampoo, conditioner, everything you touch that's going to play a part in your, you know, the longevity of how, you know, your Minx lasts. So what I'm telling you is, it is better to have a small Minx sealed completely around the nail than to have a full coverage Minx with overlapping, because it will play a part in, first of all, trapping bacteria under the Minx is not a good thing. So I would absolutely say, you know, if you are having an issue with lifting on the sides, you are not creating a strong margin and a good seal. We're off camera. Let me help. There we go. Okay. So Jab517 says, what is the size of the scissors being used to cut the excess? These are our Minx Twizzers. And as soon as Crystal finishes this nail, we'll talk about the tools we're using, okay? We'll kind of review, you know, their use, what they're used for, how they're used, what the, you know, specification is. And then from there, you know, we will tell you that any tool you use is based on your comfort as a manicurist, or pedicurist, or cosmetologist. Whoever is applying Minx needs to be comfortable in the process. If you're not comfortable, let us help you explore ways to get comfortable, okay? But one of those ways is practice, 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 practice.
A lot of heat and a lot of pressure.
Preach, a man. Practice. I do feel like I preach practice a lot, but you know what? Really, that's what it takes.
And I want to go back to what Jen was saying about, you know, the sidewalls or the cuticle area lifting and it being a little too long. It doesn't need to be a lot. It just needs to be a hair too long. And sometimes the naked eye of ours doesn't always see that. So you really have to pay attention to the little thing and focus on those items. And I always say the corners are very tricky, so you really want to make sure that you get those corners because, you know,
with flexi nails especially, my nails are really flexy, so the corner is compromised more often.
Alright, so go ahead and Jen, check that out. Make sure you're happy with it. You don't see anything that's overlapping in any way.
No,
Shape's
I
okay.
don't. And I actually
okay.
do check the sidewalls because I'm an educated Minx wearer. I actually do make sure that there's a margin because I am one of those people who, that's where the stuff collects. Okay, I am super happy with my Minx application.
I like
Crystal.
the two colors. They look awesome.
Yeah, they do look awesome. So let's talk tools. Let's talk tools. Let's do a little tool spotlight. And we're going to leave it here on the black because I think it showcases better each of the tools. So this is a Minx Twizzer. It is held like tweezers, but it acts like a scissor. It's got a really fine blade. And Crystal, do you prefer the Twizzer over scissors?
I love these. They're the best. They're the best seller here. If you don't have them, please get them. They're awesome. The trick is having a thin blade, and they're very thin, easy for everyone. But again, using scissors around the cuticle and the sidewall does take practice. So it can be a little overwhelming at first, but these are a good tool to have for your Minx application.
And they're Minx branded. They're Minx branded, so your clients know you're using the correct tools for the job. And you know what? Yeah, anybody who's used them, please, we appreciate the feedback because not everyone who's on here today has been Minxing for more than even a week. So we want to make sure that if you're a newbie and there are other Minxers out there who are maybe a couple weeks ahead of you that have had some trial and error, because I mean, even us, we kind of, we know this kind of by the back of our hands, and sometimes we have to remind ourselves that we're talking to people who've never seen this product, never touched it, never felt it. So Minx Twizzers now come in the kits. We've made a change. And we are sorry for those of you who, you know, we didn't get Twizzlers 2 in your kits. They do now come in the kits because we got so many requests for that we did make a change. So now you just get one of each type of file and the Twizzlers.
Oh, okay.
And that's
I think that a lot of people will be happy about that, because I did notice, you know, people getting bummed that there weren't a pair of scissors in there.
Right. So next to showcase is the Minx curved file. And one thing that Crystal says, and I'm not criticizing, but there is a skill level needed for every technique. So this one, it's not that it doesn't require skill, because it does. It's that it's easy. It's very, very easy. The problem is that if you see on my nail, on this short nail, you cannot get in close enough because there is a little bit of a lip here. Do you see this little lip? I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a little lip here, and my nail is very short, so it's really hard to get in contact with the free edge with this curved file if your nails are short.
And if you're new, you'll understand by what I mean by this one's a lot easier to work with than, say, the crystal file. It's
but there are things you have to watch out for, right?
Oh, yeah. You can't always use the curve file for every type of nail. So that's why we really try to tell all of you guys to please, please, please learn all the different ways of removing the excess, because you have all different types of nails that come sit in your chair.
Yeah, and the other thing is remember that this is a curve. So when you're going over the nail, you can see that if I were to run this stroke all the way down in this way, eventually I'm going to be on top of the nail. Guess where your Minx is? On top of the nail. So guess what I'm damaging? My Minx! No! Okay? So make sure you have your angles correct. Make sure you're in contact with, that's why you need length to work with this file. You also need to use very short strokes, okay? But this file, amazing, 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 amazing. So we love it. The other obvious, you know, answer to all of our prayers is the crystal file. And the crystal file works for a few different things. Crystal likes to use it to remove the dried, yucky cuticle from the surface of the nail, right around here. Okay, so up here, and you know, all on the sides.
I use it for my clients' dry
It's very
manicure.
sharp and can do some damage. So you really need to practice that technique so that you're not creating ridges in the nail and going too deep on the nail plate, okay? But Crystal's super skilled, and so I trust her with that.
And a lot of people always say, are these sanitizable? They are. You do have to remove the debris prior to disinfecting them. But if you get all the debris out, they are, you know, you can disinfect them.
They should last forever and ever and ever. I know Crystal at one point was like a year on one file, and she's like, oh, you know, going along, and then she tried a new file, and she was like, oh my goodness.
You can feel a difference. So yeah, I mean, it is nice to replace them after a while, but they do last a long time.
Pay attention to making sure that, you know, your files are in good condition, that they're clean, that they're sanitary. Just because you're applying Minx doesn't mean that you're not coming in contact with, you know, human flesh here, flesh and bone people. So yeah, you need to sanitize everything. The other thing about the crystal file is that it is amazing at cutting Minx.
Yeah.
One swipe and enough pressure will make a clean cut, and you can basically bet on this file every single time.
Yeah, and that's why for me, like, I was using it for so long because I had the angle and the pressure down. It would still end up cutting, but you know, once you use a new one, it's like, ooh, this is so much easier.
Yeah, and you know what? They're available to purchase separately. So if you know, you need 3 because you're doing, you know, that many Minx clients, then get yourself, you know, a couple of extra files. They're less than $10. I mean, this is something that, oh, but don't drop them on concrete floors.
Oh yeah, they're glass.
They're glass. They will break. This is a crystal from Czechoslovakia.
From where?
Czechoslovakia.
Where?
Czechoslovakia.
Where?
Stop. Okay. So
right.
Is there anything else we need to talk about? Buffing. Okay, so when Crystal uses the buffer, she does not use a rough buffer. She uses a really fine point, like 180 grit, right?
Oh, you know, I'm really bad at the numbers.
It's
not a shine buffer. It's a normal buffer. Everyone, as nail tech, should know the type of buffer to buff the nail plate prior to the polish part of your service.
Make sure you're not using the same buffer.
You're just not using a shine buffer. So, shine buffers are too soft.
Well, and then don't use the buffer you use before you put on acrylics either, because you're looking for a whole different roughness.
Huh?
When they buff your nails for acrylics, they use a really rough grit.
I use that one
for acrylics.
Right.
No, this isn't what they used when they did mine.
Everyone's different. They're all different grits.
Okay, so use the highest, finest point grit buffer. Yes, I am. This is the finest.
We could find out the number, but
it's like 180 or 220. It's a high grit.
Well, this isn't a finer. The shine buffers are the finest. That's
okay. Don't use a shine buffer.
Correct. All right, so.
Okie doke. So we were going to talk about our little. We were going to talk about our fun stuff. Yes, I can switch the camera. Give us just a second. We're switching. We're switching. We're switching. Oh, I need my sunglasses back on. Okay, so 180 grit.
Yeah, shine is 240. There we go.
Yay!
Thank you. All right.
Okay, so it's summertime, and it's hot
beach
here.
day here. Hold on.
So this is beach day.
And this is the body I've always
wanted.
wanted.
Is the hardest thing because this is not really where my waist is. So I'm trying to...
It's like, see, I feel crooked. Wait,
Woo-hoo! So we picked out our bathing suits for the day.
Yep.
And we wanted to make sure that we didn't offend anyone. So we got a little...
Here's my backside. With my burnt neck.
So we were trying to keep it fun and light and beachy and remind ourselves that summer's not over yet.
So get a tan, guys. Don't get sunburned like me.
And if you're in Australia, we're sorry.
We're sorry.
It's summer here. We're enjoying
Come
it.
visit.
Yeah, come visit. If it's cold anywhere where you are, come here. Because it's nice here. It's not too hot.
We would love to see you.
It's not too cold. That's why we live here and we pay too much to live here. What is that weird hair?
It's starting to look rock starish.
Yeah.
All right.
My head is shiny.
So we wanted to go over our little outfits, so we showed them off.
We showed them off, and we were going to have umbrella drinks and all of that, but it's 8 in the morning. And
she's wearing her yellow polka dot bikini, and I'm wearing my tux.
Yeah, we love them. They were fun. We got to pick them out. There were like hundreds of designs to pick from. So we like them. Okay, so
now layering.
Layering. We're going to talk about layering before we get started, though. Let's show them the base coats and some of the transparent designs. So when you go on MInxnails.com, God, the lighting changes when you leave. It's so weird. I look like I'm in a tanning bed. Fry, baby. Okay. So, okay. It's just weird. With base coats and the transparent designs, there is a symbol on the website that actually says transparent. It's got like 3 of the Minx templates. So when you're looking at designs, you can look under layering. There is a side category on the left-hand side of layering. But then you can also look under transparent. So if you're looking for layering designs or layers, Minx that will work for layering, anything that you can see through works as a top coat. Base coats are specific. They say base coat. And these are this is the first layer of a Minx layering. Then you would put...
I got it. Any of the ones that have the little cute symbol in the corner.
You see that symbol? It's on your products too. So it's not only on the website says transparent, but that little symbol designates that it is
logo.
layerable, and that's the Minx symbol. And the base coats also have this symbol on them. Do you see that in the holographic Minx Illusion? And it also says base coat. But you also have this little thing right here that reminds you, do not use alone. If you use these alone, these are unprotected Minx. These have no protection on the top. If you use these alone, 24 hours, the color's gone. Gone. No silver. Oh, gone.
Sometimes even less than that. So
yeah.
If
Depends
it's gone,
on what
all of a
you're
sudden
doing.
it still looks smooth. It's just because it didn't have, the top on it.
Okay, so these require some sort of layering on top. Do not use these, do not use these alone. And they come in silver and Minx Illusion. Woo, little rainbow action. And gold. Oh, we are too fun today. No such thing as too much fun, huh?
That's right.
Okay.
Never.
I'm learning.
So, and there's a lot of layering ones to choose from, so.
Yeah, so the combinations are endless, and you could do silver and golds. You can, you can mix and match. You can use base coats of all different kinds and then use the same top coat, so you get a different look on every finger. I mean, it's so much you can do. And is there one that's universal? Can you layer on top of regular silver lightning or gold lightning? Is there one that's universal? Okay. You talk about it.
Okay. So Courtney, so to answer your question, you said, can you layer on top of regular silver lightning and gold lightning? Technically, you could. But we have it right here, the same exact thing in base coats, and all that's doing for you is making it a little bit thinner so that you can really get it to attach to the nail, and you don't have to use as much heat and pressure. But so you really want to stick to the base coats, and
they're less expensive than layering. If you layer two normal Minx designs over each other,
they're just
$22. You're at $22 right here. This
a little thicker.
15 or 16. 16.
Oh.
These are 5. Base coats are 5. These are $10.95. So you're at $16.
So you do end up saving some money.
You do save some money.
I never thought of it that way, but that's a good point.
As a manicurist, you're always watching your bottom line and your time.
Yeah.
So this is
just going to save you time and money.
Hey, Ivana. Thank you. We love our t-shirts.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
And then now to a nail concierge. She says, is there one that is universal?
I think we answered that with the base coats versus, any other layer. So really, you're welcome to layer over any of the chromes. You're welcome to layer one design over the other. But really, for ease of use and learning, especially, the layering technique is, the base coats themselves have a little bit of a different nature. They heat differently. But also, I mean, the extreme amount of heat and returning to the heat and going through that cycle that you're going to need to do with layering two full Minx. To do it in a time
stick to the base coats till you get really, really, really good at it. And I say that as 4 or 5 years down the road, when Minx has had a more, you'll get way better results if you did do a normal one and put them together than, say, using base coats. It's kind of working in stages, and I say that all the time, and work in steps. And as you get better, then going thicker, you're going to do it in less time than, and if you wanted to charge obviously more money because you're paying more money for the Minx.
Yeah, I mean, you can upgrade for layering. So, you can upsell for layering. Yes. The other thing is I don't think you didn't mean wait 4 or 5 years down the road.
No, I'm just saying because depending on how much you do Minx, as you get better, it's hard to explain because I'm kind of like...
She was the trial and error girl. It took her 4 years because we've been through, she's been trialing
and
every
I mean that
product.
Because a lot of people don't just do Minx like I do. A lot of people do a lot of different services. And so your Minx applications don't progress or get better until you do a lot of sets. And I mean that because it's so overwhelming to learn all of these different steps. I feel like more advanced steps than the basic steps. So it can take that long, and some people I've noticed have one training class and can lay it down really nicely, and you know, they might be really fast at it and get better results with it.
Yeah, it's all about your learning curve.
Exactly. So.
Well, and Courtney says, oh my gosh, I layered on Friday with Gold Lightning and the barcode. It took forever. I will be ordering the base. So that's just an example. I mean, you realize that when you're layering, you have to do everything twice
as much.
And twice as much. Yeah, yes. So it's double, double, double. It shouldn't take you twice as long, but when you're learning, it might.
Yeah, it might, because you might not be using the full heat that you get from the heat source because you're not used to it, and so it takes twice as long, or you know, it's going to factor in a lot of things of how you're applying it. So that's why I always tell people, really master one, then master the base coat, then master any type of design.
Yeah. So let's talk about, there are two different ways of layering your Minx. And we're going to switch to the ManiCam here in a couple of seconds. But what we want you to do is pay attention to both things. The layering training video is available on our website at MInxNails.com/layering. It is actually, you know, put on with Marion Newman. And if you don't know who Marion Newman is, really, you need to Google this woman. She is... she's a legend. People say, oh, she's a celebrity manicurist. I think she's more than that. I think she is a legend. She's worked with many, many designers. She's worked with, you know, some celebrities. But more than anything, she is really big on technique and doing Minx correctly. And training is a big part of that. And so she is someone who we are so thankful did our layering video. She's going to show you both techniques on that video. Once again, it is MInxNails.com/layering.
Oh, layering.
Layering. LAYERING. And I'm sure admin will put that up for us. Let's go.
We ready?
Yeah.
All right.
We're ready.
I gotta get low. How low can you go? Alright. Alright, so I'm going to do a couple different layering options. Okay, Jen?
Okie doke.
Ow, my butt. Alright.
Okay.
So, I'm going to layer a couple lay them before we apply heat to them. This is one way of layering. Is it on the Minx there?
Yep, this one's right here on the camera.
Alright, and then I'm going to use these really pretty light pink with tulips. And the Minx is very, very, very sheer pink. Still, in a way, kind of clear. But they have little pink tulips on them. And we've had these from the beginning. And I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like. Can I see your thumb, Jen, so I can see?
Oh, you want my toe, you mean?
I want to see your thumb. Oh, she's got the toe thumb, so we're going to go opposite and lay it, because we're going to use the toe side for her fester toe finger here.
Now, one thing that Crystal and I didn't...
No.
No, they can't see you.
Okay, let me see where we got here. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken the pink tulips off of the sheet, and I'm applying it to the silver base coat. Hold on, I'm trying to get the cam for you guys here.
There you go, there you go.
Okay.
You're good.
Alright, so I'm pre-laying it onto the chrome and laying it on there. And if you notice, I've got the cute little tulips. Where's it at? Right there?
Right there.
On the silver. So we're going to put that on her thumb. And let me see your other fingers. We got a pinky and an index finger.
So can you show them sizing really quickly? Because part of the consultation and the prepping we didn't show you was the sizing, and we're really sorry for that. We should follow a little bit stricter regime when we do the 7 steps. And we'll make sure to do that again next time.
Alright, so bring your hand just a little bit closer. There we go. So you always want to size with a cold sheet. I recommend never use the one you're putting under the heat, because you need the heat heated up as much as possible. And so, and I can't see because I've got sunglasses on and no heat. The light's not very bright in here. And, okay, hold on, I gotta put this up. Sorry, I don't mean to blind you, Jen.
Thank God for sunglasses. I just got it right in the face.
So I'm gonna flip this bad boy around, and we're sizing to her nail. I think she's a 4. Am I on the camera?
You are on the camera.
Alright, it's a little big, maybe a 6. Let's see if we got a 6 here.
And you know what? I just want to clarify. There are no numbers on the sheet. Crystal has her numbers in her head, based on our old template. So, just so you know, you can come up with your own, system for numbering or lettering your Minx on the sheet, and that way you always you can keep record, and you should be keeping record because it will save you time in the future.
So Jen here has a 7 for her index finger and an 8 for her pinky, because 8 is all we got. So even if she was too big, we'd have to cut it down. So we're going to use the last 2 for Jen on her 2 fingers left over here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm going to use Lisa Logan's Happy Dots on Minx Illusion base coat. Do we have another base coat? Okay, this is Minx Illusion, so my bad. We have Chrome and Minx Illusion we're going to use today. I'm totally making you rainbow.
Okay.
Alright, so again, let me turn this a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm taking the Happy Dots, and I'm going to put the Happy Dots onto the Minx Illusion here. You just want to line it up. I always try to line it up exactly the same. I take the time because that's going to be, the side that you put down first will be the side that you put on the nail. And if you've got it too crooked or whatever, then you just have to adjust it. And remember, when you layer them like this, it's twice as thick. So you'll need a lot more heat than what you're doing with just one. Alright, and lastly, we're going with the Techno Camo, which is also Lisa Logan's. And again, we're going to put it on the pinky.
Okay, so we have a question. Can you layer over regular polish?
Alright, so to lay over polish, I wouldn't offer that as a service, but I do that for like little events where I demo it and do it like that to give the client or this person that you're demoing it to the concept of how you can take a layering one and put it on polish, or say a gel polish, which is what I would recommend, or even like a color acrylic or anything like that. But I wouldn't recommend to put it on polish. It's just gonna, the polish will come up and it doesn't last as long. It doesn't look as nice depending on how that polish was. So it's kind of more like to show the effect, but not as a professional service. Okay, so now I'm gonna warm these up. So I'm gonna show all this way, and then I'll use your other hand to show them it's separate. And so the other option of how you would layer would be putting on one layer at a time.
Which we'll show you.
Which we will show you after this. So again, I'm warming these up, and I've got to do a really quick pushback and dry manicure. Bring it a little closer. Are we on camera?
Uh-huh.
Alright. And so you need them to be really warm.
Courtney says she wears it over gel polish and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend, gel polish, or, because that's what I do, but...
Or colored acrylic.
It could be anything, yeah. I just don't do acrylics or hard gel, so... But it can be done on all of those. And we're just getting all this nice gunk off her nail. Make it smooth as possible.
So please don't forget that, you know, at the end of this layering part, we're going to talk about any of the topics that you need to bring to the table. So any troubleshooting that you have, please, if you think of it now, you can go ahead and put the question up now. We'll hold it till the end. But yeah, please make sure that if you're having any issues, let us know what they are so we can address them with you, for you, live here so you can see it in action, okay?
While we're here.
Nailbox said, I've heard to coat using shellac top coat for a longer wear. Is that true?
We don't recommend to mix any other product with Minx. So we don't recommend to do that or layer it with a gel or even a top coat. If it's applied correctly, it holds really well, and all that's going to do is make it pull.
And actually, shellac and Minx have similar longevity time frames, so it's really not necessary to encapsulate with a product that is going to last just as long as your Minx should last.
All right, so now we've used alcohol. We recommend 90% or better. And I didn't buff the pinky over here. I left the poor little guy out. Ooh, Jen, you're going to be like nice and pretty this week.
No, I'll just have one hand all pretty. Which is usually what happens, because once I leave MInxy Mondays, I don't have time to minx. And I go the whole week with, you know, random fingers. Whatever we did on MInxy Mondays is what I wear. Unless we're going to a training or, you know, go see a client, then I try to make sure.
All right, so now we've cleaned the nail plate. And we're going to check out our Minx. All right, let me see your thumb. We'll work on your thumb first. Did we not clean that one thing? Let me do this first. Going to get these again as soft as possible. Hold on here. Turn that a little bit more. And bring it down. There we go. All right. Work on the pinky first. And again, you have to place it back under the heat. Get it really soft and pliable. And when you're doing 2 layers, really focus on when that starts to cool and stop, because it will really crinkle if you're not careful.
Now the other thing you'll find is with the Minx base coats, they curl when they heat up. It's the part of the metallic nature of the base coat. So when you are heating them, when you use this technique versus the individual technique, you have a little bit more control and you have more time. So this may be easier for a beginner. It may take you longer because the process is, you know, a thicker Minx. It's 1.5 times the normal Minx. But I will tell you that if you're looking for control and, you know, just a way to ensure that you're not working too fast or you know, with a Minx that curls and you don't have enough hands, the base coat is definitely easier to control when you're already pre-layered on the sheet. Ooh,
So
Ivana got 90% alcohol.
Woohoo!
We know how hard that was for you to do, so we're really happy that you were able to find it. Ivana, please correct me if I'm wrong, but you're in Slovenia? I may be wrong. I think it's Slovenia.
So if you look really close,
No, Slovakia. I think she's in Slovakia.
We've used a lot of heat and a lot of pressure, and you can see it shrink wrapping more and more. And we will go back and push up off the skin whatever is attached to the skin, so that the more we press it down and heat it up, the more it really sticks to the nail and gives it that nice perforated line that we need to trim.
So Ivana, that's awesome. So she's in Slovakia, not Slovenia. I apologize I have someone in Slovenia also.
So I'm just using heat and pressure and pulling it out of the heat and holding the pressure, letting it cool. Now, we're going to let it cool for about 20 seconds, and keep in mind, you are twice as thick, or no, 1.5
times.
Yeah, 1.5 times. So it's even harder to trim. So depending on your skill level, you want to figure out the best way for your client and without disturbing the edge, sawing too much. And in Jen's case, because she's very weak, her nails bend a lot, we're going to scissor cut and then we're going to file down on the free edge.
I'm going to try to get the camera on top of the scissor cut so that you can they can really see you in action here up against the free edge. So hopefully that view helps. I know we've been watching it from the sides, and generally it's been good, but maybe this will help those of you who are having a little, bit of a struggle with trimming or seeing how Minx should look, at the free edge when it's nice and shrunk on. Bobby 10 says when top coating with shellac, do you have to buff the Minx so that there is no peeling? I'm thinking because it's smooth, it may chip, crack a bit, or peel. Bobby, we do not recommend top coating with anything, shellac or any other product. And we ask that you don't do that. I actually don't know the answer to that question because it's not part of our application process. And it's not something we recommend.
Oh, I see. Yeah, they're asking to put shellac on. Alright, so we are going back and resealing the edge because we broke the seal by cutting and filing. So I'm just reinforcing the edge work, and as long as you've used enough heat and enough pressure, it's going to re-shrink wrap to the nail and seal.
So one thing we want to say is anytime you file, anytime you cut, anytime you do anything with Minx,
if it's a little bit, you still have to reheat it up.
And disturbing the Minx in any way, shape, or form, you must assume that you have broken the seal. Assume that you have broken the seal and that you need to make sure that all of the seal is reattached. Okay, so. Assume the worst, and then you're, making sure that you're following through all the steps and getting it reheated, going through the heating cycle again.
Yeah, so I saw that it was a little too long on one side. I trimmed it up. We're reinforcing it with heat and pressure while it cools for 20 seconds. And then I'm checking again to make sure I got a nice seal. And then I'm going to have Jen check that out, make sure that I got a good seal on it.
I wear my sunglasses. Oh, that looks good.
Good?
It's really good. Oh, wait. No.
Oh, a little piece?
I have two edges.
And it's the corners, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
My funky edges.
So I need you to flip it back over.
Oh, wait. We're not seeing it. Okay. So Crystal's just going back and trimming away any edges that are sticking up.
And again, it's the corner, so you really got to pay attention to those little things.
Excuse me.
A lot of times it is the corners that makes it pull up, so really focus on that area. Cleaning this up here, making sure there's feel little pieces there. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to reinforce it one more time. All you're doing is making it shrink wrap more and more. Every time you heat it up and put pressure down on it, pressure's okay, Jen?
Oh, I love the pressure.
Do I put you to sleep?
Mm-mm.
I get a lot of people say I put them to sleep. What?
Crystal, you have the funniest sunburn I've ever seen on your face.
I forgot I wasn't supposed to show you. I knew you were gonna rat me out.
Oh my gosh! Right now, payback is a biatch. Oh my god, you are so done. You are taking off those sunglasses on camera. Oh, you almost made it.
I couldn't see it.
Oh, good Lord,
Okay,
this
check
child has the funniest sunburn I have ever seen in my life.
Oh, I want to cuss at you right now.
I am so sorry, but you would call me out, and you know what? I love you. But this is so crazy. Okay, so I'm showing you guys my beautifully layered nail. Oh God, I'm reeling inside right now. I cannot wait for this moment.
I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll see you later, Jen.
No, don't you dare. Joe, security! Security! She's trying to escape humiliation. Oh my God, this is great. I'm so excited. I'm really not this cool of a person on a daily, but Crystal gives me such a hard time all the time about being a stick in the mud, and you know, I'm no fun, and I'm too serious, and I'm a stress case, and all these terrible things. And you know what? Goofball got her butt burnt this weekend. I use sunscreen. Do you? I'm losing it right now. Oh, I cannot. Oh, my face hurts.
We're not taking my hat off. I'm definitely going to the bathroom this. I'll take my sunglasses off. It's fair.
No, I think I don't know if they're going to be able to see the full effect.
I was in a parade. It was hot outside.
Oh
I was
my
going to be out
gosh.
there for 7 hours. Oh yeah, and I'm a white girl. I mean, not just pink, but I'm white. So unfortunately, I'm a lobster right now.
I am tripping out. Nailbox said, I did water marbling over silver last week. Looked so cool. And it's lasted too. Oh my gosh, would you please send us a video of you doing that? And, you know, let us see it a week later, or, you know, take a picture, something, so that we can see how this looks, because I can't even imagine how you did that. And I'm so excited to hear, you know, how people use Minx in different ways. So I'm really excited about hearing about that, and how you did it. Yay! Nailbox, that's really cool. What an innovator you are. What an innovator.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Whoop, whoop, innovators. Okay, so Crystal is prepping my thumbnail for, are you going to do just a base coat and then the layer?
What time is it? Do we have time to do the rest or no?
Yeah, we have time to do the rest. It's 9:30 right now.
Oh, okay, so yeah, let's just
about a half an hour.
Let's just do these. Well, I guess I could layer it separate, one of them, but let's do this one, and then there's another one. Yeah, perfect. So I'll do this. So I'm going to really quick put this silver on with the tulips while the other one's warming up. Warm those bad boys up. And now we are going to do her thumb. Where's your thumb, Jen?
There's my thumb.
There it is.
My toe thumb.
Your toe thumb. So I'm again warming up the sheet, placing it under there. I'm going to grab it, place it back under the heat with the sticky adhesive side up while it warms up. Hey Jen, hold my little guy up.
Yeah, I'll hold it under
Let me get some alcohol real quick.
I'm holding it under the heat.
And then
Look, I get to play. I get to do some ink stuff.
can I have my towel? My little free wipe. So I'm using alcohol because Jen reminded me that I didn't need that one.
when we break up the steps like this and she doesn't, like, if she has to talk, sometimes it's harder to keep on track with what you're doing. So we apologize for the momentary delay.
You really want it to be really, 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 really soft.
And it actually feels stiff to me still.
Yeah. So again, it's one of those things where if you don't think it's hot enough, keep it under there a little bit longer. It's all about how it looks, not by time. You'll never get the exact time all the time or the same time. So we are going to, if you want to move the camera for me, Jen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to place it onto the nail with the little tulips there so we can get the tulip effect. And where's my stick? Where's my stick? Where's my stick? Let's see here. And you got to work the top and then rock it from center to sidewall. And you can feel it getting a little stiff, so we're just going to place it back under and you can see what it's doing. As it warms up, it's just going to get really soft again.
And that's the thing. So as you noticed, Crystal, as soon as it started to feel a little stiff, she stopped what she was doing. Don't go any further because, you know, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And make sure you get back under the heat so that you have a workable product. Because the minute that it's stiff, you're not making any adjustment, you're not making any changes, you're not conforming the Minx to the nail plate.
And what's going to happen is if you do try to lay it on when it's cold, it crinkles because it's so stiff. It doesn't lay on the curved or the, you know, it's because the surface is going to be slightly curved depending on the nail structure. But as it cools, it stiffens. So when you lay it stiff or cold, then it crinkles or bubbles. And once you get it set in that cold, it's really hard to get the crinkles, or the bubbles out when it's already on and stuck to the nail plate. It takes a little bit longer, harder time. So you can pull the sheet or the Minx off the nail plate, reheat it back up and try again. That is definitely, you can do that.
Now, one thing that I will just emphasize quickly is that Crystal has found the tulips. She has made sure to place them on the nail, whichever side that is, because that's what I asked for as the client, right? And then she offset the large side of the Minx to the opposite side, so she only has to trim on one side as far as any real excess and you know, changing of the shape. But you can offset Minx if Minx is too big or the pattern, the you know, part of the pattern that the client wants is more in the center of the Minx. You know, you can offset that up onto the cuticle as far as you need to, because it can all be peeled back and trimmed off. And she'll show you that process, you know, too. So can you see the imprint of that nail? It's all the way around, all the way at the cuticle, all in the sidewells, and at the free edge. You can see that it's actually shrunken down and kind of taking grip on the nail. And that's what you're looking for when she says it's how it looks. You know, we're always looking at Minx to see at what stage are we. Are we hot enough? Are we cool? You know, is it stiff? Is it flexible? Is it pliable? So you really need to pay attention to how Minx looks when it's hot, when it's cold, when it's you know, halfway through the cooling process and you're, you know, applying pressure.
How's that feel, Jen? Is that okay?
Yeah, no, it's totally fine.
All right, just want to make sure I'm not hurting you.
Yeah, one thing that we always emphasize is communicating with your clients also. Crystal's a really good communicator, but we also know each other pretty well, and she knows what I can take and not take. When you have a new client with Minx and you're applying pressure and you're cooling and heating, you really need to talk to your client. Make sure they understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then also that they can speak up and at any time tell you, you know what, that's just too much pressure for me. And you know what, you may have to apply pressure more times at a less, you know, less aggressive nature, okay? So just be really communicative with your clients. One thing I've experienced over the years, and I know one of our owners said it was one of the complaints that she had about manicuring and getting manicures, was that she would sit down And before the manicurist even asked her what shape she wanted or anything, she had started filing away at her nails and doing just whatever she thought was appropriate. And really, you need to talk to your clients. It's about the consultation. It's very, very, very important. And if you don't consult with your client, you don't know what they want. How can you ensure that they're going to walk out of your salon or away from your chair happy with what they received? So part of, you know, being a good Minx manicurist is being really communicative with your clients, making sure that you've met their needs, because that's what they're paying for, their needs. Okay, that's my rant.
So I'm just going up the sidewalls, trimming up the sidewalls, laying it down just to see if it's the right fit. And I'll have to go up here by the cuticle and along this side.
Courtney says, oh, okay, so wait, Nailbox said she only did one nail, the others are natural. Yeah, here, let me get in there. Okay, I'll read the messages in just a second from the chat board.
So I'm just getting in there really good, and you're focusing on not moving the bottom part of your tweezers. You're only moving the top. And if you have to break the seal a little bit on, you know, if you have a good seal, it's going to be stuck to the nail. You might have to break that a little bit just so you can get the scissors in there so you don't cut your client. And I'm always moving the sheet or the piece that's stuck to the skin so that I have a nice little hole there to start so I don't cut into the skin. And again, this will take practice. And just make sure you communicate with your client and making sure that they don't feel uncomfortable, you know. And if you notice, I'm laying down the edge just to see if I got a nice fit, and I'll definitely go back there and reheat all this back up.
Oh shoot, sorry guys. Bad camera angle. I got too into it.
Where are you looking, Jen?
I was looking. I'm still always amazed at the application. It's still intriguing to me, so I apologize.
Alright, so we're just going to warm it back up again, break that, you know, seal that's what you've broken the seal with. So anytime you cut file, you want to reheat it back up. I love this stick. And I just press it back down, and you can just see it lay right up to the nail, and again shrink wrap and attach.
It's really hard with the Minx heat, so I'm just trying to get it from every angle, guys, so bear with me, okay? Jeez, I'm getting worse. Not getting better.
Corner.
This camera is funny. If we get too close, it gets out of focus instead of getting more in focus.
It doesn't move to us.
Mm-mm.
Alright, so I'm going to reheat one more time because I did file a little bit more. Warm it back up. Oh, I need to jump in the pool right now.
I know, it is hot in here. We're steaming up the place. It's definitely summertime.
The sun's out, the sun's out. Sun doesn't come out here till about lunchtime. Between 10 and 2.
Yeah, somewhere between 10 and 2. The fog lifts and it's just a beautiful, crisp, beautiful day. Love it.
Alright, so again we are put heat and pressure, and now we are cooling with pressure.
Ah, Crystal, that looks awesome. Those tulips are much more exciting over chrome than by themselves.
They are, and they are classics. Everyone wants a little flower, and if you're like me, I gotta use the tulips.
I like that one.
So it just spices it up a little bit, gives those little flowers some love.
A couple people asked about top coats. Should I top coat on top of this?
Yeah, we did cover it, but I think we're going to have to close with a little bit of something. Okay, so Joe just came in and just let us know that you guys have some questions about, you know, top coats. So we're going to talk about top coats. We're going to talk about why they're not necessary and what you can do to prolong the life of your minx without having to destroy the beauty of the product when it's a standalone.
What time is it?
We are at 9:40.
Okay.
We got about 20 minutes to cover lots of stuff.
Right, so
we're gonna
one more layering option, which is where we're gonna separate the 2 layers and apply them at 2 different times. And so we're warming up the minx. The nails are nice and manicured and ready to go.
Okay, Box said that good day ladies, have to go, going to do the layered tulips. Well, have fun with the tulips. Have a great week. We will not be back next week. Just Nailbox, we want you to know. And we'll
2 weeks.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. So we'll see you on August the 6th. Bye-bye. Okay, so let's continue.
All right, so now when you do the separate layers, you have to keep in mind that the base coat's gonna really curl, so you don't have to warm it up as much because it is thinner. It can be a little bit more difficult to apply it.
We're not getting a good camera.
Can you help me out?
Yeah, yep, gotcha. I got you back, girl.
All right.
Okay,
and again,
so
we're putting pressure down. And we're going to place it back under the heat. Just apply more heat and pressure. Once it's on the nail, it doesn't curl as much, so it's easier to apply
I want
more
to
heat.
show what a curly base
yeah,
coat will do,
totally.
because this is crazy. Yeah, you know, most of the time Minx folds over pretty predictably. It heats slowly. It's pretty easy cheesy. This is the funniest thing ever. I'm going to heat this up because it will go crazy. Okay, look at how crazy this this base coat is right now.
Yeah.
So when you guys are applying the base coat, remember that it is half of a minx. It is that much thinner, makes such a huge difference. I mean, it's got an insane curl going on here.
What you would normally put on a regular minx, this wouldn't curl as bad, and it will keep curling really into little itty bitty little circles.
I mean,
there.
it will curl up upon itself and stick, and you'll be in a nightmare.
Yeah.
And with the metallic being the only layer and unprotected, it will crack, and you'll get yourself into some trouble. So make sure your heat is low. That you practice with base coats and heating time, because this is a skill in itself, and that's why we say practice makes perfect. Now, one thing we've seen that some of the manicurists do is that they kind of divide the minx, the one minx across the 2 fingertips, kind of to keep it flat. That's something I've seen done with the base coat, though. It doesn't seem to help as much. So
all right.
that technique is definitely something to learn. Okay.
All right, let me find Jen's hand. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to remove the excess, and I'm going to try to move these minx over so that we can still heat up our top layer and file off our base coat. So you want to wait that 20 seconds, make sure it's nice and cool before filing. And this nail, we're going to try to use the crystal file. It's a little bit shorter, so it can't really bend too much. And being a base coat,
Shorter.
okay,
There you go.
and being a base coat, it's thinner, so it's easier to cut too. And if you notice, I'm repositioning it everywhere I file.
And as you can see, I mean, it really takes a little less pressure than if you had to cut through, you know, the 2 layers of minx. So you're only having to cut this base layer, which is so much thinner. You know, it's half the thickness of the original minx. So just know that you don't have to use as much pressure. It's a lot easier to do.
So when doing the layering with one and then follow with the second layer, you do want to trim off the excess and trim around the cuticle area or the sidewalls before applying your second layer.
The other thing is you want to make sure your hands are really clean, and you know, you may want to wipe your own fingertips with rubbing alcohol before you start this method, because you don't want to be placing a lot of your own oils between the 2 layers of minx. So it can be done, and we do recommend using your birchwood stick for, you know, pressing it down and rocking it into the sides. And also, you know, that's one less pass with your fingers on the nail, on the layer. I've yet to see layers come apart in wear and tear, but I'm sure it's happened if the manicurist didn't have clean hands.
So I'm taking my second layer and I'm placing it back under the heat. And we're doing happy dots, and I love this one because all the little dots are going to become chromy.
Yeah, and those are, Happy Dots is one of Lisa Logan's lines. It was one of the first of her line. So it can be found under Stylist Lines, and it can also be found under, you can search for it under Dots.
Now if you notice, I didn't put it on straight or, you know, even, so I took it back off, placing it back under the heat, giving it a little bit more heat so it's nice and soft, and I'm going to try this again.
So even the master,
sometimes you just mess up.
You know, because we're human.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait.
And again, heat and pressure.
Heat pressure.
Ooh, look at those pretty dots.
So you take a really great design and you just amplify it.
You just made it better.
Yeah, you just amplify it. And when Lisa designed this, you know, she knew that this was going to be a part of the layering process. So, you know, she took that into account. She's a smart chicken.
Yes, so thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. This is one of our favorite layering designs of all time. And really, look at that. That's
all
amazing.
right.
Hey, guess who's on the phone?
Lisa Logan!
Should we answer it?
Yes.
Okay. Lisa Logan. Lisa, you're on speaker with MInxy Mondays, and we are putting on Happy Dots at this moment. It is the weirdest thing that you just called.
Were your ears ringing?
Were your ears burning? Yeah, the Happy Dots do make us all happy. Well, listen, my speakerphone is not loud enough. We have about 10 more minutes of MInxy Mondays. Can I call you right back?
Maybe it was the wrong time because I'm on location, so I can barely hear you because I'm on speaker.
You're on location? Okay.
So maybe I should call back.
Yeah, give me about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, love you.
And that's Crystal there?
Yeah.
Hi, Crystal.
How you doing, girl?
I'm good. So I'll call back, okay?
Okay,
All right.
talk to you soon. We love you.
Bye.
All right, so
That's so much fun.
that was cute.
That is so much fun. We're doing Happy Dots, and she calls in at the exact same time. Sounds like she's on set and needs something.
So we just use a lot of heat and pressure. You can see how nice and shrink wrap that is. Now we're going to file off the excess. And again, I'm going to file with the crystal file because I don't get to use it much on Jen, so take advantage of it.
Seems kind of hot still.
Yeah, I'm hot in general.
I know. I think it's like my body temperature is not letting the minx cool off.
All right,
Okay.
so let's see here.
I'm getting a
Are you
little
guys
fanning
gonna
motion going here. Yeah, everybody can see. That looks great.
So again, we're working on the corner, and I didn't get that. There we go. Reposition. And reposition. And if you notice, I'm going in one direction, filing in one direction, and you want to be careful you don't do that. Get it under the nail at a 45-degree angle. And sometimes that's just a little pain in the tushy.
Minx admin, Mr. Joe, says next we will have a call-in show as well. Courtney says Jen should have answered. Go ahead, caller. Lisa would have been like beside herself.
She wouldn't have known what was going on.
Yeah, she's like, okay, what are you doing, crazy? I don't want to freak her out. She's a very, very busy woman, and
she's she's not always in that mode.
Yeah, and
She's on serious mode.
She's on serious. She's kind of like me in the sense that she gets stressy. So we are both that way. And so I understand that I should not mess with Lisa on those days. And if she's calling me, hopefully it's because she has good news or she needs something fun. So,
Alright, so I'm just checking the edge, guys, because it looks a little, there's a little piece hanging there and I can't get it. Sometimes that happens, but I'm going to reseal. Maybe that will help it. Can you see?
Yeah, just a little
we go.
there. Yeah.
So we're just putting pressure on the nail with heat, and I'm going to turn off the heat and use my little chipped stick. And voila. Now we'll have Jen check. A little bit more pressure on there before we're done. Okay, perfect.
Oh my gosh, that looks great.
And remember, that's the dominant finger on most people, so you do want to give it a little bit more love, because it probably gets a lot more beating up.
And Crystal pays really close attention to giving me a little bit off the corners, because I will mess this Minx up in 24 hours. So, you know, based on my lifestyle, Crystal has made an adjustment there. So you see that little bit of margin there? She did that on purpose. We do that almost every week just to make sure, because I will find a way to beat up my corners. Okay, so I think it's time to switch cameras. These nails look insane, you guys. I am so excited. Look at this color combo, too.
Woohoo! I did a good job.
It works out, doesn't it?
I
Look
made
at
it
that.
match.
Look at that.
Woo woo.
Ow!
Ooh la la.
And a little tulip.
And we made it
And a
all
little tulip.
different.
Yes, we love.
We mixed
Okay,
it up.
so here we go. Wait. My sunglasses on. And Crystal. Oh my gosh. You guys, I have seen the light.
You seem right. Wait, let me get out of the picture. And then
No. You come back here. You come back here. Okay. So, I love you. I have to say, I love you. But you have got to share.
Don't take my hat off.
I won't take your hat off.
All right, I'll
But
share.
you have to take these sunglasses off.
All right, I was in a parade. I did roller derby parade, a pride parade, and if you guys look at my funny sun, my face is pretty.
No. You don't get to put them back on yet. Look again. Look again.
All right. Well,
because if you're not rolling on the floor right now, you have not looked hard enough.
All right.
She's
Look again. One more time, and this is it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you guys, all morning she kept her sunglasses on. I have not seen her eyes until we were on camera. I thought I was going to lose it. Well, you heard me. I was dying. It was great.
The back of my neck, if you look, is really sunburned.
She's fried.
And I made sure I put sunblock on my tattoo, but forgot the white areas.
The white.
So
well, she got it.
I learned not to put little stickers on my face to make it look like I was playing football.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, there were stickers. There were black stickers, you know, to look rough.
Rough and tumble.
Yeah, so I've got that to be made fun of, and I have a little.
So what are you going to do with your client?
On my butt.
She fell down.
So
she fell down.
We were playing roller derby on the street in a parade.
She decided to jump.
So I didn't fall on my knees versus not fall on my butt. So that's my fault. You learn, builds character.
You live and you learn. Okay, so we have 6 minutes to quickly go through. You know, just highlight a few products. We picked some of our favorite summer bright designs because we got 1 month left, right?
Yes.
1 real month before September. So
and you know, today's beach day, so we
Today's
thought summer themed, bright, fun colors, perfect
stand
for
back
everyone.
so you can see.
Little
Look
polka
at
dot bikini.
I love this. I think I'm just gonna live in this. This is the body I want.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
This is the body I've never
You can
had.
see that it's not really my body because.
Oh, wait. I want to do the dance.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
So sorry,
Okay,
I had to
sorry.
do that. Okay.
Well, she's been practicing all morning.
With my sunglasses on.
Okay, so we're not going to take these out of the package because, you know, it's irritating and takes a long time. But we're going to show you some of our favorite designs. This one is, and can you see it? Yes, it's translucent yellow with silver fishnet. This one actually
Wait, the yellow is actually see-through? Are you sure?
Yeah, it's translucent.
Oh, I thought it was solid.
Yeah, no, you can see right through it.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's a clear one. So this one's transparent. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. It just gives it that really light yellow effect. And then the silver just goes, yow!
Blingy.
Super bling. Okay, so that's one. Then we have this one, and this one. And you have to take your pick. I really prefer the smaller pattern.
I like the really cool green and blue this side.
Yeah, this smaller pattern.
No, this side right here.
Yeah.
This side.
Yeah, the smaller
I like
pattern.
the colors in general.
So these are two really, really fun designs, and you can just put in plaid, and they'll both come up. And then you can make your choice about which one you like better for your clients. Just remember that with the bigger patterns, sometimes you're going to get more chunk colors than you are going to get the actual plaid effect because it is such a big, design. Okay, so just pay attention to the sizing and that. And then, okay, so we're gonna show our favorite camouflage. We have a pink camo and a regular camo. These are super fun for summer if you're wearing your khakis and you're out and about and you just want something that's cool and casual. Those are really, really fun.
Yes.
We love these. So that's one of my
very
favorites.
bright.
We have two nautical designs. We only have one here with us right now, but we have a navy blue with a white anchor. This is solid navy with a white anchor.
The stripes with the anchor look really cute.
This is so adorable on. Really
so if
adorable.
you don't have it, get it.
But you wouldn't want to put this on a client who has super short nails that they abuse heavily. Because they do tend to show, you wouldn't want the red to end at the nail. So you got to play with them a little bit. Make sure that they're a right fit for that client,
and
okay?
the anchors are big, so you do have to have some
They have to have some nail plates, okay? All right. So next, I love this one. It's silver confetti.
I haven't found someone that really can wear that.
This is so funny because it's one of our top sellers, and it really is. This is kind of a breakout design for newbies. So people who have never been minxed before, this is kind of where they start. They start with these like breakout designs, and this is one of them. So we love this. I know I'm moving so much that the lines actually look pixelized, but they're not. They're straight. So that one's super fun. Silver confetti. This one is pink and purple swirls. It's really more of a purple dominant color, but it does have some pink underlaying.
Light pink little
underlying. Yeah. Enhancing color. So we love that design for summertime. We also have, I want to say this is seafoam green circles.
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong.
Depending on what the client wants, there's lighter sides and darker sides. I've come to find out a lot of the clients like the lighter side because you can see those circles. So that's a good one to talk to your client about what they like out of the minx and kind of customize it to them.
Yeah, so you can use that offset technique where you put some of it up on the finger and really put the part of the minx on the nail the way that the client wants it. So that one's good to practice with too. This is multicolor weave.
And it's just fun colors.
And it's like a fuzzy blankie too. It's got that real textured fabric feel to it. So it's really nice. It's real pretty. It's pastel. It's elegant. And it's fun too. It's got a little bright one here. This one's real bright. Okay. And then I love this. Pink circles. Excuse me.
That's a good peachy, orangey color. I get a lot of clients that like that color, especially older clients.
Yeah, it's got some salmon in there.
Because it's one color that we don't see much in the minx family, and it's a really fun color in general. It doesn't have any chromes or anything.
Yeah, it's a flat color, and it's got even some greens and yellows in there.
Yeah, it's a good mix.
It's a super fun pattern. Seems to work for everyone.
Yeah.
Skin type wise.
Yeah.
And then there is Funky Design.
That one is a very popular one in
This one
my
is crazy popular.
A lot of the kids love it.
Yeah, this is summertime favorite. Summertime favorite. So that's that, you guys. It's 10 o'clock. We want to remind you about MInxy
I
Pride.
work so hard for my body. I just don't want it to go.
I know. We want to remind you about MInxy Pride. MInxy Pride you'll receive in every order from Minx. We just want to make sure you're wearing it on your pinkies. Get out there. Show your MInxy Pride.